Hi guys, I'm just going to put up a small bit of help on the 3 questions you had last night. Okay, so rather than just putting the whole solutions up, a few of you have emailed the homework to me already, and there's a few of you struggling with it. Okay, so rather than just put up the whole solutions, I'm going to give you a bit of help and let you try them again. Okay, so question 12 there. So first, so it says use f of 0 to find the value of c. Okay, so if we look up here, where is c? It's the constant at the end. Okay, so really we don't even really need to use f of 0 there, because we know the constant at the end is where it cuts the y-axis. So if we look at where it cuts the y-axis, it's -3. Okay, so we can just say straight away from the graph c is equal to -3. Okay, so I suppose these are just a bit difficult because it's kind of bringing all of the 2 chapters. You have to try and recall all the different bits and try and figure out what they're asking and what is useful. Okay, now I know they did say in the question use f of 0. So I suppose f of 0, that means they've subbed in the value of x to be 0. Okay, so if we look over the graph, we know that f of 0 is actually -3. When x is 0, y is -3. So that's what they actually wanted you to use there. But I mean, if you wrote, they wouldn't be that specific in an exam as to how they want you to find it. I mean, they don't care how you find it as long as you get the right answer. Okay, it's just the book is just scaffolding it a bit here. So use f of 0, so that means when x is 0, we can see here that y is -3. So I can write that as f of 0 is -3, and then I can sub that in then. I can sub in x as 0. So we had f of x equals x squared plus bx plus c, and we can sub in 0 for x, and we know the answer then to that is -3. Okay, and then 0 squared is gone, b times 0 is gone, so c is -3. Okay, but as I said, it's perfectly fine just to read it straight from the graph. Okay, but that's what they were wanting you to use there. Okay, right, then use the graph to find another equation. So I suppose really if you've gone wrong now in that first part, then the rest of it was wrong as well, unfortunately. Okay, so use the graph to find another equation, so you have another point to sub in. Okay, so the next part there, I would sub in the point -3, 0, okay, into this function. So you're subbing in -3 is x, and letting the whole thing equal to 0. But you can also sub in, Jesus, a wasp something. Sub in c equals -3. Okay, so you can sub in x is -3 into this line up here. You can sub in -3 is x, let it equal to 0, and then you can also sub in for c. We know c is -3. Okay, you'll actually be able to solve b then straight away because it's the only unknown, so you'll be able to get b out there. Okay, so just try that again. The last part then there, so you'd have your b at this stage, whatever you got. You have your c is -3 equals 0, and then you'd factorise that then. You'd factorise the quadratic and solve it. You have 2 answers. One should be -3, and then what's the other one? Okay, so just try that question again. Hopefully that's a bit clearer. Question 14. So yeah, part 3 there, you're factorising the quadratic, but you filled in your value for b and c. Okay, question 14 should have been a bit more straightforward. It's a bit like the one that we did as an example. So you're wanting to find the values of b and c. So you sub 0 -2 into the equation, or into the function. Okay, so that's 0 equal 0 in for x, -2 for f of x or y. Do the same with this point, sub in 1 for x, sub in -3 for y, and then simultaneous equations. Okay, so sub in both points, then simultaneous equations. Right, and then the second part then, so you'll have found your answer to b and c, and then it says 2y is on the graph. Okay, so if a point is on the graph, you can sub it in. So you'd have your equation from here, you'd have your b and c value, so you'd be subbing in 2y then into that function. Okay, you'd have, so it'd be x squared plus bx plus c, but you'd have your values for b and c written in, and then you'd be subbing in x is 2 and leaving y as y, and then you'll be able to solve for y. Okay, so you're subbing the point in to the function and then solving for y. Okay, last one then, number 15. So again, I want to find a, b and c. So I suppose c is where it cuts the y-axis, so we can read that from that number there again. So c is going to be 0 minus 3. Okay, because that's what the number then there tells us is where it cuts the y-axis. So c straight away is 0 minus 3. So this is number 15. So c equals 0 minus 3. Then our equation is y equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. And now they want us to find the values of a and b. So if we look at where a and b are, it's where they cut the x-axis. So where graph cuts x-axis. So what do we do for where it cuts the x-axis? We let y equal 0. So you're going to replace y up here with 0. And now again you have a quadratic that you can solve. Okay, factorize it, take out the minus 3, factorize it, and then let each bracket equal to 0 and solve. Okay, I hope that's a bit better now. Try those again, and hopefully if they didn't go well the first time, they'll go better this time.